Dear students, now let's discuss about some common digestive disorders. So, some of the digestive disorders are diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, heartburn or acidity. So, these are some of the common examples of digestive disorders. So, first we will discuss about diarrhea. Diarrhea means it is a condition or it is a discharge of feces in liquid form. So, the person, those who are suffering from this diarrhea, they may have frequent discharge of feces in liquid form, not in solid form, it will be in liquid form. So, there will be frequent discharge of fecal matter or feces in liquid form. So, mainly it is seen in case of young children. So, mainly young children suffer from this frequent discharge of feces in liquid form. So, the person, those who are suffering from this diarrhea, from their body, because these feces that is in liquid form, they discharge feces that is in liquid form, there is loss of water from their body. So, due to excessive loss of water from their body, sometimes they may suffer from dehydration. That is the condition is known as dehydration. So, the person those who are suffering from this diarrhea due to excessive loss of liquid from their body or excessive loss of water from their body, they may suffer from another condition that is known as dehydration. Loss of excessive water from their body. So, in such condition, those who are suffering from this diarrhea, they may face this dehydration condition, and we can prevent this dehydration by giving them ORS. ORS means oral rehydration solution. So, just opposite to dehydration, it is rehydration solution. So, rehydration. Again and again, when we intake or when we drink this ORS solution or oral rehydration solution, it helps to regain more amount of water. Because on the other hand, due to this diarrhea, due to the frequent discharge of these feces in liquid form, there is large quantity or large loss of water from their body. So, it results in dehydration. So, by giving ORS solution, or by giving oral rehydration solution, we can regain the loss of water to a particular extent. The next disorder, that is vomiting. So, it is common in people because it is known as the forceful ejection of food through mouth. So, vomiting means it is a phenomenon or it is a process of forceful ejection of food through mouth. Okay, during the intake of food, we intake or the ingestion of food that takes place through the mouth, and through esophagus it will move down and it reaches to the stomach. So, once it reaches to the stomach, then partially digested food, sometimes due to some other discomfort or due to some other reasons, what will happen? It will ejected out through mouth. Okay, that means digestion is not completed. So, due to some reason, what happens? This partially digested food that will comes out through mouth. From the stomach, this partially digested food along with the water content, it will comes out through mouth. So, here just reversal of peristalsis. Peristalsis means it's a wave-like contraction of esophagus that it pushes down the food molecule or a food bolus down to stomach. Then during vomiting, what happens? Just a reversal of peristalsis takes place. So, food from the stomach, it is forcefully ejected out. It is forcefully returned out through mouth. So, that process is known as vomiting. So, during vomiting also there is loss of water, large quantity of water is lost. So, loss of water is there. So due to this loss of water, this person during vomiting, they may suffer dehydration. Same problem. So how can we prevent it? During vomiting or after vomiting, we have to drink lot of water, or we can drink liquid form or juicy form. So by drinking liquid or by drinking juices, we can prevent dehydration. Clear? So diarrhea, that means discharge of feces in liquid form. Frequent discharge of feces in liquid form will be there. Then in case of vomiting, forceful ejection or forceful expulsion of food from the stomach through mouth. Then another one, third one, that is constipation. So constipation means sometimes some person they may suffer or they may feel difficulty in emptying their feces, or at the time of ejection they may feel difficulty to remove or difficulty to expel the semi-solid waste material from their body. So why does it happens? When their feces or fecal matter, when it become more dry, okay, when it become more dry or more dried condition, they may suffer difficulty in emptying their feces or difficulty in expelling their waste material, semi-solid waste material. So why does it happens? Due to less amount of water content, or due to less amount of fibers. So due to less amount of water as well as due to less amount of fibers in their food material. So due to less amount of fibers as well as due to less amount of water content present in their diet. So sometimes people may suffer from constipation. So they may feel difficulty in emptying feces because fecal matter or waste material, okay, that become solid condition. Okay, fecal matter it should semi-solid condition. On the other hand, it become solid condition or very dried condition. So sometimes what will happen? They may feel difficulty in emptying their feces or difficulty in expelling the waste outside. So by drinking more water or by taking more fibers in their diet, we can prevent the constipation to a particular extent. Then another one disorder, that is heartburn or acidity, common term acidity, or ulcers, peptic ulcers. So ulcers or acidity or heartburn, that means it is mainly takes place due to excessive production of acid in our stomach. Already last class we have discussed that stomach contains hydrochloric acid. So the main function of hydrochloric acid, that it provides acidic medium, then it activates protein digesting enzyme pepsin, as well as it kills small microorganisms present in the stomach. Okay, so HCl have their particular role. On the other hand, if there is excessive secretion of HCl, then what will happen? Sometimes it will destroy the inner lining or inner wall of stomach, or sometimes it will create small wounds. So small wounds, that is known as ulcer. Okay, small ulcers or small wounds will be present in the lining of or the inner wall of stomach due to high secretion of HCl. So mucus which is present in the stomach, already we have discussed that last class. We have discussed that mucus or mucus gland is present in the stomach, which secrete mucus slimy substance, and it protects the inner lining of stomach. Okay, so sometimes what happens, the secretion of mucus that become very less. Okay, then the production of HCl that is more or excessive due to excessive secretion of hydrochloric acid. What will happen? This mucus that is present in the stomach, that is not sufficient to protect the inner lining of stomach. So what will happen? This excessive amount of hydrochloric acid that will destroy the inner walls of stomach, or sometimes small wounds will present, and that is known as ulcers, or sometimes we feel heartburn, burning, like a burning sensation in the stomach. So this also we can prevent by taking food which is rich in sufficient amount of nutrient content. Clear? As well as we have to drink more amount of water, liquid form, water in the form of juice or any other liquid type of food. So, to a particular extent, we can prevent it. As well as by taking some medicines like antacid medicine, antacid tablets that is used to prevent the action of this HCl. So like this way we can prevent this heartburn or acidity. So these are some common digestive disorders. Ruminants or the digestion in ruminants. Ruminants means the animals that digest their food by the process of rumination. Ruminants means the animals that digest their food by the process of rumination, and they are termed as ruminants. Example like cow, goat, giraffe, like most of the grass eating animals. Most of the grass eating animals, they are termed as ruminants. So ruminants means the animals which digest their food by the process of rumination, they are termed as ruminants. In case of ruminants, look at the figure. This figure, it shows the digestive system of goat. Clear? So goat or cow or ruminants, mostly they have 4-chambered stomach. In case of human beings and most of the animals, only one stomach is there. One chamber is there. Okay, sac-like structure for the temporary storage of food. But in case of goat or cow as well as some other ruminants, their stomach, it have 4 parts or 4 compartments or 4 chambers. One is rumen, second one that is reticulum, third one omasum, and fourth one that is abomasum. Clear? So 3 parts or 3 components are here. So here the first part, this is the first part, that is rumen, it is the first part. Then reticulum, it is the second part. Then omasum, this is the third part, and abomasum, this is the fourth part. Clear? So 4 chambers are present. Then after this abomasum, food from this abomasum, it leads to, this is the small intestine, this coiled structure that is known as small intestine. Then it reaches to large intestine. Then at last part, external opening, that is known as anus. Clear? Then rumen. Rumen is the first and largest chamber. The first chamber. Look at the figure here I have marked. Rumen, that is the first as well as the largest chamber, that is known as rumen. Then from this rumen, that means firstly the intake of food that takes place through mouth. So intake of food that takes place through mouth, external opening, or that is known as oral cavity or mouth cavity, buccal cavity. So mouth, through mouth intake of food takes place, and what happens, they will cut that grass into small pieces, then directly it swallow that small pieces of that grass or food material, and it moves through this esophagus and it reaches to this rumen. Firstly that food or grass or that food or leafy or food substances, that is reaches to rumen. So intake of food, that is through mouth, then it leads to esophagus, and through esophagus directly it goes through rumen. Okay, so from this rumen, it consists of certain bacteria for the digestion or for the breakdown of cellulose. Because grass eating animals, they have the capacity to digest cellulose, because grass contains cellulose. On the other hand, other animals including human beings and other animals, they do not have this cellulose digesting bacteria. That is why human beings, we are not able to digest cellulose, because our intestine or our stomach or our intestine, it do not have cellulose digesting bacteria. On the other hand, ruminants have cellulose digesting bacteria. So from these rumen, these cellulose digesting bacteria that will act upon these food substances or that will act upon that is cellulose. Clear? And now these partially digested food, okay, digestion is not completed because that food that is not chewed properly, only just it is cut into simpler or smaller piece and directly it is swallowed and it reaches to rumen, and where cellulose digesting bacteria are present and they help to digest the cellulose present in the food. Then after that process, the food is now known as curd. C-U-D, curd. Curd means it is known as the partially digested food. Curd is the partially digested food which is present in this rumen. Then now this curd, it is moved to reticulum. So rumen is the first compartment, reticulum is the second compartment, and now this partially digested food or this curd, that curd is moved to reticulum, that is the second chamber. Curd is the second chamber, reticulum is the second chamber. And now this partially digested food or this curd, it moved to second chamber, that is known as reticulum. Then from this reticulum, this curd or this partially digested food that is sent back to mouth. Clear? That means after the action of the cellulose digesting enzyme, food is partially digested and partially digested food is known as curd. And now that curd, it is moved to second compartment that is known as the reticulum. Then from this reticulum, this curd is sent back to mouth. Again, look at the figure. It reaches to stomach, first compartment, then it goes to second. Then from second, it directly moves to the mouth. When this animal during the rest, when they take rest or at the resting time, this partially digested food or that curd, it slowly moves to its mouth and slowly further chewing process. That chewing process, that chewing of partially digested curd, that process is known as rumination. Proper chewing of that partially digested food or curd that takes place from the mouth, and that process of chewing of curd, partially digested food, that is known as rumination. Then after this rumination process, that properly chewed food, now it is directly moves through this esophagus, and through esophagus it directly reaches to the third part. Okay, when it reaches to the mouth, then further chewing or rumination takes place from the mouth, and finally chewed food that is returned to third compartment that is known as omasum. Now food is directly moves to this omasum. After the rumination process, the finely chewed curd that is returned directly to this omasum. It will not go to rumen first chamber as well as the second chamber. It directly moves to third chamber, that is omasum. Then from this omasum, it moves to abomasum. The absorption of water takes place from this omasum and it moves to last compartment or fourth compartment or fourth chamber, that is abomasum. So this abomasum is known as the true stomach. In case of ruminants, the fourth chamber or the last compartment, that is abomasum, that is known as the true stomach. This is the figure showing the digestive system of cow. So cow also having mouth for the intake of grass, for intake of the food. Then food moves to esophagus. Then it moves to first chamber, that is, this is the first chamber, that is rumen. Then from this rumen, after the action of these cellulose digesting bacteria, food is moved through second compartment, that is known as reticulum. First compartment, this is second compartment, that is reticulum. Then from this reticulum, it directly moves through the mouth for rumination. Then after the rumination process, it returns to third compartment, This is the third compartment. That is known as omasum. Then from this omasum, it directly moves to fourth compartment. That is known as abomasum. Then from this abomasum, it moves to, this is the part of small intestine and large intestine. So it moves to small intestine, then large intestine, and the unwanted substance that is ejected out. So once again I will repeat it. Simply we can conclude it like this. The process of rumination or the process of digestion in case of ruminants, that starts from mouth. That means it is the organ for the intake of food. Okay, grass or the food that is taken into the mouth, and with the help of the teeth it is just cut into smaller pieces, and without chewing it properly, directly it swallows that food into the first part of its stomach, that is known as rumen. It is the first part. Then in this rumen contains cellulose digesting bacteria, and this bacteria helps in the digestion of cellulose which is present in this food. Then now this partially digested food is known as curd. Curd means it is the partially digested food. Then what happens? From this rumen, this partially digested food or this curd, it moves to second chamber, that is known as reticulum. Food is moved to reticulum. Then from this reticulum, this partially digested curd or food, it is returned to the mouth. It again returned to the mouth for rumination or proper chewing. Again from this mouth, proper chewing of food takes place, and that proper chewing or proper mixing of that food, that process is known as rumination. Then after the rumination process, again this food it is directly returned to omasum, that is known as the third compartment. So after this rumination process, the food that will not move to this first or second compartment, that food will directly move to third compartment, that is known as omasum, and from this omasum, food will move to fourth compartment, that is known as abomasum. The absorption of water that mostly takes place from omasum. Then from abomasum, this is known as the true stomach. Abomasum is known as true stomach, and from this abomasum, this food is moved to small intestine, and digestive enzymes, other digestive enzymes act upon the food and further breakdown, further digestion process that is completed within this small intestine. Then from here, further absorption process, digestion as well as absorption, that is completed from the small intestine, and the remaining waste material that will move to next part, that is large intestine, and the unwanted substance that is ejected out. So this is the process of digestion that takes place in case of ruminants.